he like deadlocked me right in the eyes, looked at me, and then just gave me like a slap, like not like a full hit, but like a slap on the back.
Yeah.
And said, "Let's go." And I was like, okay, dude.
Okay.
I fuck with you.
Welcome back to another episode of Planet Derp Podcast. I've got my good friend Olin back with me again.
Howdy.
So tell me about your trip.
Okay. So, as you know, I've only flown once before this. And that was the trip that I took to see my dad in Arizona back in 2018. I think that was actually before we had met, but I did tell you about that trip.
Okay.
And that was for all intents and purposes, that was, you know, with my ex, who I'm no longer with. And that was supposed to be our honeymoon. So like, we flew down and spent the week down in Arizona and got to go see a whole bunch of cool shit, do a whole bunch of cool shit, and then flew back.
Yeah.
And I haven't flown since then, so we're talking 6 years. And I had to fly solo this time. So, like, that was an experience.
Yeah,
especially being a nervous flyer.
Ah, okay, yeah.
It was one of those things where it was like,
I need someone here to hold my hand.
Yeah, no, that's like a big part of it is like freaking out like I'm, oh no. I'm all alone doing this, but I got through it pretty well for the first leg of the trip.
Good.
The departure from MSP was not bad. Little turbulence on the whole trip there, and landing was a breeze.
Dude, what's turbulence like? Dude, what is turbulence like? I've always wondered that.
Have you ever ridden a roller coaster before?
Yeah.
So you know how some roller coasters, they have like not quite bunny hills, but they have like the rumble strip sections where it's like,
yeah,
it's kind of like that.
Okay.
But a little more weightlessness happening because you're so high up and like,
right,
you're literally floating on nothing. So like,
it doesn't feel as
the turbulence. Yeah, the turbulence hits you and it's like, you're like, oh fuck.
Okay, that honestly sounds better than a fucking roller coaster.
We hit turbulence leaving and arriving in Minneapolis. So leaving Philadelphia today and arriving in Minneapolis, we hit turbulence both times and a little bit mid-flight. So I was a little on edge. My anxiety was a little higher this trip.
Yeah,
but,
of course.
I powered through that shit. And when I landed and got off that plane, it had really hit me landing in Philadelphia. Like, holy shit, I did this.
Yeah, like you accomplished that shit.
Yeah, because like last time I had a hand to hold. I had someone to get me through it because, like, I grew up hearing horror stories from my dad of things that happened when he flew, and my sister was in the Air Force. So, like, I heard stories and, like,
freak the shit out of you.
Not to make fiction into real, but, like, one of my favorite shows for the longest time was Lost.
Yeah.
And we all know what happened with Lost.
Right.
It's a plane crash on a fucking random island. Like, now granted, the plane would crash, realistically speaking, between here and Philadelphia in the US. But still, the concept of it still scares the shit out of me. So, like, I'm nervous about that. And it's just, I'm not used to that because I grew up driving. Like, we take road trips everywhere. Mm-hmm. Like, that's just what I've been used to my whole life and not flying. And so, as a 33-year-old man doing his first solo trek, literally half a continent away, it feels good to say that I did it.
Hell yeah, dude. I'm proud of you.
Thank you. I mean, that truly that means a lot because it's still one of those things where I'm just like, holy shit, I fucking did that. You know what I mean?
I've never flown before.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, even thinking about the first flight still kind of spooks me, but I really want to do it.
Well, if it ever works out where I happen to be able to take that flight with you, I will hold your hand through the whole thing.
Okay, good. Thank you.
If it works out and it's planned out that way, I will hold your fucking hand the whole time.
So you leave and then you show up. What else happened?
So we land. I get off the plane and I call Kayla. Shout out Kayla Chu.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like just pulling up into like the terminal. So I get downstairs and look for her car. She comes and picks me up. And it just like it still like hasn't fully hit me that like I did all this trip. Mm-hmm. Like I got in the car and it was just like, okay, I'm here. I'm in the car. Like you picked me up. Like this is actually happening. So like the first night of it all was a little chaotic because our flight got delayed leaving Minneapolis.
Okay.
There was a mechanical issue with the first plane. So I got delayed. We ended up not leaving till like 6:30. And then obviously the time jump.
Right, yeah.
So like we're in the air for 2.5 hours, but it's 3.5
yeah, it rolled
clockwise because of the time jump. And so like I was already keeping Kayla up a little later than I had intended to.
Of course, you
again,
had to.
Shout out Kayla.
Shout out
Kayla. Well, like it was just one of those things where I was just so stressed about like that happening, and I was not trying to do the whole woe is me pity party thing, but I was like, of fucking course it would be my flight that has a fucking issue, and I'm the nervous flyer who's just trying to get the fuck to Philadelphia.
It was really testing you, wasn't it?
Really. Whoever the powers that be, whether they're above or below or down here with us, whoever the powers that be is, they were really fucking testing me that day.
And you fucking did it.
Yes, I fucking did.
So,
but no, she picked me up and we did a late night Target run quick before they closed just to get some stuff. Got back to the apartment and I don't know, the rest of that night is just kind of a blur because I was like just so drained and all that.
Yeah, mostly just hanging out.
But then, but then the next day was like the first like real big day.
Yeah.
That was the day that we were meeting up with Amy and Erica and walking around in like the old city area of Philly.
Nice.
So like we went to this place called Angelo's. They have the best fucking cheesesteaks and pizza. If you ever find yourselves in Philly, go to fucking Angelo's. Please go to Angelo's. It's a little bit of a wait if you don't get there right at open.
Mm-hmm.
But the wait is worth it. It's cash only. And my God, that cheesesteak. Oh,
damn,
I just goddamn. We got 2 cheesesteaks and a pizza. Kayla and I split a cheesesteak with provolone. Amy and Erica split a cheesesteak with whiz.
Oh.
And then we got a large margarita pizza. And that fucking pizza was so good.
Margarita pizza. I've heard of those before. What the fuck's a margarita pizza?
It's typically like a lighter sauce. And then it's basil, tomato, and just like herbs, really.
Yeah, okay.
Like it's a very aromatic pizza, but it's so good. Like I'm not one to have like just like straight tomato on anything, but like you give me straight tomato on a margarita pizza with like some fresh ass basil,
yeah,
and some good ass cheese on there. Whew,
yeah,
baby.
Okay, I'm looking at a picture here. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I've seen these before. Yeah.
Yeah, I was pretty geeked. It was really great. So we got that. I walked around most of the day with 2 extra slices in the box because I was like, I'm gonna eat these later at some point.
Hell
Whatever.
Yeah, dude.
When we did that, actually first before we got Angelo's, we stopped at this awesome coffee house called Chapter House Coffee.
Okay.
Again, if you find yourself in Philly and you want some coffee, go get Chapter House. They had a Dominican mocha coffee that I got that was fucking incredible. It was so good. Definitely worth checking out.
You know what's fucking crazy I've noticed about like coffee is like coffee is in that weird realm with names the same as like weed is. Like they have some wild ass names. Yeah. Like I have no idea what you're talking about, but give it to me.
Yeah, no, it was a really good fucking coffee, dude. It was a really good coffee.
Mm-hmm.
And then we went to this place called Rally Coffee, I believe is what it was called. And they had a really good coffee. So we got coffee before pizza and cheesesteaks, and we got coffee after pizza and cheesesteaks.
My man was buzzing.
And then we walked to Washington Square Park, which like any Wonder Years fans out there know that's like one of the highly referenced like Wonder Years spots in Philly.
Right.
And my God, the fountain there, the whole park is just fucking gorgeous.
With the songs just playing through your head as you walk through there.
Yeah, no, 100%. But then like I just got lost in thought, like just staring around and like taking it all in. And it's just like, as a huge fan of that band, like it's one of those like kind of meccas for a super fan to go to.
You're like, oh, this is the spot. This is it.
Well, and it was one of those things where I'm just sitting here taking it all in, and I'm just like, that was one of the first moments where it kind of hit me like, oh my God, like I'm here. Like that's crazy, you know? Following that, we trekked through more of Old City up to, we actually walked right past the Liberty Bell. Like we didn't go and actively look at the Liberty Bell, but we walked right past it and just kind of like glanced at it through the glass and it was like, cool. I saw the Liberty Bell. Right, I didn't need to go in and take a picture or anything with it, but like, you know, like, cool.
Yeah, that's about how I feel about it. It's cool.
Like, don't get me wrong. Like, there's some cool parts of American history and all that, but it's a bell. Like, sorry to anyone who's like a big, you know, American history, America, fuck yeah, type of person. But like,
what the fuck? You didn't sit there and worship it. What the fuck is wrong with you?
It's just a bell, guys. It's just a bell. But no, I got to see that. I got to see a lot of the cool old architecture of Old City Philly. Mm-hmm. And it's just fucking beautiful down there. It genuinely is just gorgeous down in that part of town. And then I'm trying to think of what else we had done. We went and got boba tea at this place. We walked down back south to this place called Rita's Italian Ice.
Yeah.
And that was awesome. That tasted really cool.
Dude, okay, hold on a second. Can you please explain exactly what boba tea is? I feel like an old fart here. But
so it's just whatever tea like you decide to order. Like you can get taro, you can get, you know, some kind of iced tea, you can get milk tea. I got a Thai iced tea because I fucking love Thai iced tea. And then there's just these little tapioca pearls. They're just like chewy little bubbles.
Oh, what?
And they're delicious. Yeah, I love them. It's something tasty to get every once in a while, you know.
Okay, I'll have to try it out.
It's good if you like kind of gummy, like textures.
Yeah,
it's kind of on part of that.
Made me think I'm chewing on eyeballs.
Oh no! Oh
like
no!
Little fish eyes.
But yeah, that was most of Sunday. Was just not necessarily doing touristy things. Like we weren't actively doing all the touristy shit that like most people would do.
Just kind of walking around, we're just and hanging out,
walking and taking in the surroundings and enjoying good company. Like it was my first time meeting Amy and Erica in person.
Oh, cool.
For anybody listening who might know who they are, it's Seltzer Aqua and Berica
Shout out.
Within the community. They're moderators in Bry's channel and friends of mine. And Erica lives in Philly, and Amy came from New York. And so, like, we all just decided, hey, we're gonna get together this day. It's gonna be a good time. We picked Amy up from the train station and then parked and met with Erica, and then that's when the day began. And Kayla and I broke off from them and went back to Westchester area and figured out the rest of our night from there. And then the whole rest of the week was just basically either relaxing, hanging out, playing games. Then the I suppose 4 other big things that really happened throughout the week. Tuesday, Kayla, after she was done working, we got in the car and went down to downtown Philly again to go see Coheed and Cambria open up for Incubus.
Hell yeah.
And that was a treat. It was my 15th Coheed show since 2006. And my first time seeing Incubus. And they were a bucket list band. So, like, now that I've seen them, I happily have marked them off my bucket list.
That's so awesome, dude. How were they live? Because, I mean, from what I've seen, like, on clips on, YouTube and shit, they do a really good live show.
Incubus is about as old of a band as Coheed is.
Yeah.
And both bands still to this day are performing like they're in their prime.
Dude, I know. Like, they just, like, I know especially Coheed, I've seen them a couple times.
Yeah.
And they are just powerhouses every time.
Mm-hmm. Incubus was a fucking treat. My first Incubus album was Morning View, and that was the tour. Was the anniversary of Morning View.
Nice.
My sister, we're not necessarily the best of friends, but growing up, she did bless me with a lot of the music that either I still listen to this day or influenced a lot of what I listen to today.
Right.
And Incubus was one of the first bands that she introduced me to.
Oh, that's cool.
And Morning View was the first record that she ever gave me to listen to. And hearing those songs live for the first time 23 years later not only took me back, but it gave me a whole new experience with those songs.
Right.
And I'm just so grateful to have been able to see that, because, like, Brandon Boyd absolutely fucking nailed it note for note. Kayla had seen them before, she said. I think like 2 or 3 times before, maybe, or this may have been her 3rd time that she's seen them live. And she was like, I told you they're good live. Like, they're not necessarily like one of her favorite bands, but she knows a lot of the songs and she enjoyed them live when she saw them. So she was like, you're gonna really enjoy them. And I was like, you weren't fucking wrong. They were so good. I was blown away. They finished the whole album. And then instead of walking off stage and waiting for people to shout an encore, they stayed on the stage, got back in their positions, and started ripping through the hits.
Oh, that's
and it
so
was
cool.
like, it was such a treat. And they I don't know what it is. They're a bunch of fucking meme lords in that band. They hit us with like 3 different covers through the night, implemented into their own songs. I can't remember what the 3rd one was, but they hit us with Umbrella.
Oh, really?
By Rihanna.
Yeah.
As an interlude into their song Under My Umbrella.
Nice.
Which was fucking hilarious. Nice. And then in between another song, they like finished most of that song and then started playing In the Air by Genesis.
Ooh.
And I'm like, huh? And then they turn around and they're like, yeah, I bet you guys didn't know that we wrote that. Like, they're totally memeing on it.
Holy shit, what the fuck?
It was so funny. And like, they're so classy about like the jokes and like memeing like that on stage. Like they're very tongue in cheek about it, and they're very, you know,
I love that.
Classy, as everybody's saying these days. They're very mindful, very demure.
God, no, please, Olin, no.
I'm sorry, the meme kept coming up between Kayla and I the whole week, so it's like it's ingrained in my brain now as a total sarcastic joke.
Oh.
But no, they're very honest and very funny about it, and like their stage presence is great, and their whole atmosphere of the show, like from the instrumentals and the they had like lasers and haze that they had intentionally using to create an atmosphere for the show. And it was just really well fucking done. The last song on the main set is Aqueous Transmission. And if you've ever heard the song, you know how beautiful of a song it is. I want to say that Mike is playing a sitar on it, but I could be mistaken. But just the flow of the song and the visuals that they had and all of that, it was just gorgeous. And I would not have changed a single thing about that set. It was beautiful. The hits that they gave us were just perfect. I was hopeful that we were going to get what was it? What didn't we get? I'm trying to remember. I think it was Pardon Me or maybe Stellar, one of the two that we didn't get that I was really hoping for. But like they finished their like second to last song and people started getting up to leave, and like Brandon Boyd's just like, hey, no guys, don't get up and leave, we still have one more for you. Then they start playing fucking Drive. And it was just
perfect.
Mike soloing on acoustic over that song, when I'm pretty sure originally that solo was done on an electric guitar. Like it was breathtaking. Genuinely, I absolutely re-fell in love with Incubus that night, and I would absolutely go see him live again for sure.
Damn, you've got me wanting to dive into the discography, man.
Fuck, dude. They have a rich, and when I say rich, I mean rich discography. Holy shit.
Good. Yeah, I'm gonna have to start diving down that. I started listening to all because I was looking for a song of old and in some of Coheed's earlier stuff. Then I heard one little piece of a song and I was like, oh fuck, here we go. So I just started the whole album.
Which one?
Second Blade.
Oh, Second Stage Turbine Blade. Yes.
Yeah.
That holds a very relevant point with the Friday show, which I'll get to.
Okay.
But after Tuesday, give me just a moment to take a sip of water here. After Tuesday, the next like real cool thing that happened was we took a very last minute impromptu trip to Newark, Delaware. So I got to add a second state to the list of states that I got to go to on this vacation, which was cool.
That's awesome. That's so cool.
It was a whole like hour drive, which was not far at all, and that's where Kayla grew up. So it was cool. A dinner trip to go see another friend of ours, and then we actually had another friend join us as well. And that was awesome because we stopped at this little tiny game shop that was right on the main street in Newark. And I ended up finding a really cool like random set of like dice and a coin and a cool bag that D&D does.
Yeah.
And then I struck gold, and I don't regret buying it, but I regret buying it because it's like $70 price point, but it's the collector's edition alt cover for the Space Jammer 3-book set that they released last year. They didn't have the standard one. They had the literal collector's edition one just sitting on a shelf, and I was like, "Excuse me,
I mean, what are you gonna do?
How has nobody grabbed this yet?" So I bought that, and then we walked across the street to this awesome restaurant called Homegrown. If you're ever in Newark, Delaware, folks, go to fucking Homegrown. Holy shit, the food there. Incredible.
What kind of food do they do?
They do a whole mix of different stuff. They have bar food. They got a lot of real good seafood. They do kind of big plates. They do sandwiches, salads, wraps, all sorts of stuff. And then they have like seasonal plates that they do. And I got one of the seasonal plates. It was a char siu barbecue pork.
Ooh.
Okay. And my God, that plate not only filled me up, but the flavors, dude. It was broccoli and grilled bok choy and white rice with chili crisp oil. And then the pork was perfectly marinated. It was juicy. It was, dude,
it sounds like food that
so
would give you
good.
a legit reaction from eating it. You know what I mean?
Dude, I took a bite and I turned and looked at Kayla and I was like, what the fuck?
Where are we at right now? What is this?
Yeah.
Where the fuck am I?
She was raving about this place for a while, and she's like, yeah, well, so we're actually going to go down, and we're going to go, and we're going to eat. It's going to be great. And I was like, okay, cool. Let's do it. Let's fucking do it. So we met up with Justin and Adrian and had a great time. And then we drove home. And I think maybe that was one of the nights that we played Dead by Daylight with... No. Not Dead by Daylight. We played Phasmophobia, I think, that night with Joey.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, because I brought my laptop with me, naturally. Gamer.
Gamer life.
But no, that was one of those like fun little, like, kind of side questy, unplanned things that we ended up doing that I really enjoyed.
Those are the best.
And then we come to Friday, and Friday, so I get up and Kayla, I think, did a half day for work that day or took the whole day off. I can't remember.
Mm-hmm.
But her friend shows up and we get ready and leave. We stop at this cute little coffee shop that's like halfway to Harrisburg. And like it's in the middle of like Amish/Quaker country. I don't know which is which really out that way because like some of the folks are living in like really nice homes, but still dressing like they're Amish. So I don't know if they're like Amish or Quakers or what. But like this coffee shop is just middle of this like country back ass highway, right?
Yeah.
And it was so fucking good. And naturally, and Kayla will attest to this too. I love s'mores anything.
Oh, really?
Like, you give me s'mores anything, and I will eat it.
Good to know.
Or drink it, or consume it, whatever it is.
Boof it
and
even.
I was looking because she got, like, some Reese's Puffs thing, and I didn't see the whole menu yet. And I looked at what she was looking at on the screen, and I saw that, and I was like, ooh, that sounds good. And she's like, no, you're not getting that. I know exactly what you're going to order. I was like, excuse me? And then she turns to the next page and points, and I was like, oh... Yeah.
Yeah.
You know me. You know me so well. So we stopped to get coffee at this place. And it was really good. Like, it was a really tasty coffee. It wasn't necessarily like the best coffee I've ever had, but it was a really tasty coffee. And I got a nice little donut because it was Friday. And I guess that place only has donuts on Fridays.
Oh,
so that was nice. Got a little donut. We hit the road again. We stopped. We actually drove past Harrisburg to the other side of the river into a little town called Camp Hill to stop at this restaurant called Cilantro, which is basically it's a small 3-restaurant chain in like the central PA area. That's basically the Asian version of Chipotle. So like, you know how Chipotle is famous for their burritos?
Right.
This place does what's called a bing, and it's based on like a Chinese street food that's a scallion pancake.
A scallion
and so
pancake.
they have the batter mix on hand. They scoop it, they put it on the press, and it comes out round like a tortilla would for a burrito.
Oh yeah.
And then you can choose rice and meats and veggies and toppings and sauces and all that. And it
sounds good.
Basically like Asian Chipotle.
That's badass.
But I decided to get a bowl and get the Bing wrap on the side, the scallion pancake on the side.
Mm-hmm.
And I combined like teriyaki and like yellow curry for my sauce choices, and it was a pretty nice flavor combination, I felt. And I got the pork and white rice. It was like coconut white rice or something like that is what they offer.
Yeah.
And then I got, assorted like veggies and toppings. They had this really fucking awesome cucumber kimchi, and like Kayla's gonna hate me for this, but kimchi fucks. I know she doesn't like like heavy vinegar, heavy like any of that. She hates pickles.
Really?
She's not a fan of kimchi either.
Dude, I love pickles.
So do I. And like she's gonna absolutely moan and groan that we're both saying this, but like love you, Kayla.
I'm gonna drink pickle juice and send it to Kayla.
Oh my god, please do not ever talk about pickle juice around me. That's a whole nother horror story for another time. I may have already told you that one. I don't know, but no, I got this pickled cucumber kimchi because it spoke to me. I was like, oh, kimchi! I fucking love kimchi. Let's try it. It was really fucking banging. I really thoroughly enjoyed the food. Kayla and Andrew kind of gave it a, it's okay. I've
never had kimchi.
I wouldn't go out of my way to go back to this place if I happen to be out there again and there's a show in Harrisburg or something that's taking our attention out that way. I would maybe go there, but I wouldn't
go out of your
detour just to go out of my way to go there.
Yeah.
But it was good food. And then after that, we proceeded to the venue. It was an outdoor concert, which was awesome. I haven't done an outdoor show in quite a while like that.
That's really cool.
Felt very Warped Tour-y because it was in a parking lot. It was literally in a parking lot next to the highway overpass.
Oh, really?
So it was very like, fuck, this feels like Warped Tour for me. And like, I was enjoying that aspect of it. We get there, we get parked, we get in, we take a look at the merch booth. Decide maybe we'll stop back later. Go and get beers and get another crowd. Kayanashi comes on.
They play.
I haven't like deep dove into Kayanashi, but I've listened to quite a bit of their shit, and I was like, okay, I fuck with these guys.
Yeah, they're wild.
They fucked live. They were great. Shout out Kayanashi. They're a Philadelphia band. And then the next band that went on was Soul Glow. And I hadn't heard of them.
Never.
Like I heard the name, but haven't listened to them. And frankly, they were interesting. Kind of similar to Kayanashi. Both kind of in that like hardcore.
Yeah.
Both black fronted bands, which like
nice.
I love seeing that in the scene, especially that they're getting love from the scene altogether. That was fucking cool. The lead singer of Kayanashi had a really funny comment that I can't repeat. But it was a very funny jab at a terminology for black folk.
Of course he would.
It was a very funny comment that like had some of the crowd like in awe and some of us were just laughing, and I'm like, this dude fucks. Like, if this dude can make fun of himself in a sense, like
I love
this dude fucks. And he had a really fun stage presence. Like they had silly like audio clips that they would play in between songs, or like during songs they would have like a full band pause and then play like a stupid audio clip.
I love that.
And then go back into the song. It was silly, but it was fun, and I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed their stage presence. Soul Glow was a little hit or miss for me. I didn't dislike them, but I wasn't vibing as much to them as I was Kayanashi.
Right.
But they did their thing. It was good. It was a fun time. And then Coheed gets set up to go on. And I knew generally what the set list was going to be going in. Kayla didn't want any spoilers. Okay. And I looked at her, and I can't remember exactly what was said, but it was something about In Keeping Secrets, because that's what they opened with on the Tuesday set, because it was a shorter 9-song set. We got 14 technically 15 songs for this night, which was awesome. I'll get into that. But they opened with Prologue and The Dark Sentencer.
That's so awesome.
The immediate look on Kayla's face was like, oh my God, this already fucks. I'm ready to fucking go. She went ape shit. We ended up getting sucked into the pit at one point. Ooh. And like the three of us were like right on the threshold of the pit. I was jumping around and moshing a lot of the night, having a good time.
Yes.
Made some like, Amy's gonna love this if she listens to this episode. Single serving friends. They were cool buddies to make in the moment in the pit, and then that was it, kind of a thing.
Oh, okay.
And especially because like I probably will maybe never run across them again unless somehow any of them wind up at a Minneapolis show or I wind out back out in Philly for a show.
Yeah.
But they were really fun. They were really cool, and like the pit atmosphere there versus back home here in Minneapolis and St. Paul area was so different. Like there's still the same pit etiquette. If someone falls, you get them back up. If someone kind of asks you to back off a little bit, like you do that.
You respect it, yeah.
But these guys were just going hard as fuck, dude. Like,
I respect
they were
that.
just going ham in the pit and having a blast, like crowd surfing. There was a lot of like, at one point in time, I can't remember which song it was. It was towards the end of the set, but instead of moshing, they did like a circle run.
Nice, yes. I love
They were just running around in a circle, and that was fun.
Circle pits are the best.
There was a lot of like just good vibes. There was a lot of good vibes in the pit.
Sounds like you had like a one night stand in the mosh pit.
Oh man, dude, I because we were seated for the Incubus show, I didn't get that nervous energy out.
Right.
And Kayla will absolutely vouch for the same thing because she just wanted to be down there fucking ripping it. And there wasn't really a pit for that show because it was all seated. Like even down on the floor, it was all seated.
Damn, that's unfortunate.
But the Harrisburg show, like we just let loose. We were fucking feral. We had a blast. It was so much fun. I sang my heart out. Somehow still had somewhat of a voice after the fact to sing our hearts out in the car to a Coheed shuffle.
Nice.
It was a great fucking night, and I had an absolute blast. And like meeting Kayla's friend Andrew, he was a blast. We had one of the most fun nights I think I've ever had at a Coheed show ever, and I'm so grateful that I got to do that and go and be a part of that because that was a really great set. Oh, and speaking on that secret 15th song that we got, they were supposed to start playing another song. I want to say it was supposed to be either Blood Red Summer or Favor House. And Josh was counting in, and someone, I don't know who it was, someone fucked up. And it turned, instead of them stopping and restarting the song, it turned into like a 5-minute just jam. Like straight up just, if you ever saw when Coheed used to do the Everything Evil jam or the Final Cut jam, where they would extend the song out and they would just have like a fucking jam session over like Josh fucking hitting the beat.
Yeah.
Dude, I got 3 minutes of recording of that.
Yeah.
And I am going to cherish those 3 minutes for my entire fucking life. I hope someone got a full recording of it somehow.
Yeah.
Because my God, it was just dope.
Dude, I saw the video you sent me. It was so good.
It just speaks to their musicality as a band, their chops, and their synergy.
Their chemistry with one another.
Exactly. Like, they can have a fuck up like that, and instead of it resulting in shit, you fucked up, and then start the song over, whatever the case may be, they just fucking rolled with it. They rolled with the punches and gave us a fucking secret 15th song that, as far as I'm concerned, no other show got. So, like, that makes it a wholly unique experience.
I think that's so badass that you're so in tune with one another that somebody could fuck up and then you're like, oh, let's just turn it into a jam session.
Exactly. And it's one of those things where it makes that night special.
Of course, yeah.
And leading up to the very end of the show, like the energy was just there the whole time. You could feel that in the crowd. I don't know if it was me mentally overanalyzing it or if it really was the presence of that Philadelphia brotherly love kind of thing happening.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a lot of that in the pit. Like people seeing eye to eye, like a lot of moshing happening. That's and cool. Like someone falls down and like you're tapping people on the shoulder to get out of the way to get another person up. And people want to get up and crowd surfing, and nobody was having really any issues with any of it. Like you sometimes go to shows and you see that where people are like fed up with it, turn around and scream or anything like that.
Yeah.
Everybody that was there who was involved with that in some capacity was having a great time with it.
That's really cool. Everybody just kind of in on it. You know what I mean? Like everybody understands.
Exactly. And Harrisburg is the capital of PA, right?
Mm-hmm.
Philadelphia is an hour and a half away. I'm not sure exactly how far Pittsburgh is away, but those are like your three major cities in PA, from my understanding. And you have people that are transplanting from all over the state and other places like myself to come and see the show. And you're just getting a lot of that energy within that entire group of people there.
That's so cool.
I really felt at home at a Coheed show for the first time in a while.
While like, not being at home. And that's so great.
Exactly. And like we get to the end of the show and they close the initial set with In Keeping Secrets, which was fucking bonkers. And if you know how they play In Keeping Secrets live, they stop and then pause for a moment to like kind of let the crowd like
catch on.
Not necessarily like it's more like the dramatic pause before the end where like everybody's like
yeah. Okay,
yeah, that
yeah.
And someone had gotten hurt, right?
Oh shit.
So like security had already been on it. And like people were making a space, and this happened like off to our right, so like it wasn't immediately by us,
right?
But like they stopped the show, and the band waited patiently, and like everybody in the crowd was applauding, you know, security for taking care of it, and
cool.
The band was obviously very receptive and respectful about that, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of those things where like you could see everybody who was trying to alert the security, like, hey, someone's hurt here. Like, that's one of those things that you sometimes don't see at concerts. Like, some people just don't fucking care.
Oh,
and I feel like at Coheed shows, that's not the case. Or at least at most of the Coheed shows that I've been to, if anybody's ever been hurt or, like, fallen in the pit or anything like that.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's done everything to get that person back up and continuing to have a good time. And the band stopping and waiting until that was good to go, and then building that tension back up immediately, and then having that fucking last hurrah with In Keeping Secrets before they step off and then come out and do their encore. It was such a very affirming thing for me that like that is where I needed to be in that moment. Like,
isn't that beautiful?
Yeah, it really is. And it was very much like the like final capstone on the trip.
Mm-hmm.
Saturday was mostly a recovery and a little bit of drinking day because Justin came up from Delaware and we went to Applebee's and had rum buckets and food. And then Justin came back and we played Scooby-Doo edition of Betrayal at the House on the Hill.
What?
Yeah. If you've never played Betrayal at the House on the Hill, it's a great fucking game.
Is it like a board game? Or?
Yeah, it's like a tabletop game.
Okay.
A lot of fun. But yeah, it was single-handedly the best trip that I've been on in my adult life, of the like very few that I've taken in my adult life. But I definitely feel like every moment was worth it, whether it was downtime, uptime, feral, unhinged chaos between Kayla, myself, and whoever else was in the heat of the moment of it all.
Checked all the boxes.
Yeah, it was the best fucking trip that I could have made it, and like, despite the few people that I wanted to get a chance to see that things didn't work out with, I wouldn't have changed any of the trip, because there'll be other opportunities to see those people, I feel.
Right, yeah, of course.
And worst case scenario, I just save my ass up money-wise and take another trip in the spring.
Yeah.
that's what I told Kayla I was going to do, is try to come back out in the spring.
Nice.
So...
Was that your first time out there?
Yeah, that was my first time out east any further than Southern Illinois.
Yeah. So, was that your first time meeting Kayla?
No. This was the
so.
third time in almost 17 years that we've been friends that we've gotten together to hang out. First time was December of 2021, when she was moving back out east from Washington State. Her and Justin were making the trek and stopped in Minnesota to visit.
Oh, nice.
What was supposed to be one night turned into like 2 nights.
A little bonus.
But we made the best of it. We had fun. And then the second time was just this last October. So it's just shy of a year since the last time we saw each other. And she came out to Minnesota for a weekend. It was like 4 days or something like that.
Nice.
To go see the 1975 and then kind of go feral around the Twin Cities and just do stuff. Yeah. It was a really good trip that time, and it was like, okay, now it's my turn to actually fucking go somewhere. And I was like, okay, well, Coheed's playing near you. Let's plan it around this. And then, oh, Coheed's also playing closer to you than the other show. Let's go see them twice. Fuck it.
Now that some of the rules have changed again with flying, I would love to possibly fly out even to you, man, and
please
come see you.
Dude, please. That would be incredible. Or vice versa, frankly.
Either way, dude.
I'm down to come the south, especially in the colder months.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. We'll cook for you. We'll take you in.
Oh my God, please. I need that southern cooking.
We'll have you covered there. Biscuits and gravy in the morning, all that good shit.
Oh my God, stop. Dude, that means I get to hang out with your kids.
Dude, of course, yes.
Dude, for anyone at home listening who hasn't ever heard Joey talk about his kids are the shit.
I love my kids, dude. They're awesome.
His kids are the shit.
I feel like me and Sandy have done a pretty good job so far as far as raising some decent human beings, you know?
Mm-hmm. That's the goal. That's honestly the goal, is just to raise decent human beings. Mm-hmm. They don't have to be perfect. They don't have to be, model citizens by any grade, but
no, just teach them like respect and shit. The things. I understand. Me and Sandy talked about this the other day, but I'm trying to get myself out of saying, "Oh, that should be common sense," because we know that a lot of things that should be common sense are definitely not common sense.
Oh, 100%.
So, like, I would just want to teach my kids, like, the things that I think should be common sense, like respect, manners, things like that. Just be good people.
Mm-hmm.
Just be good to each other.
Mm-hmm. 100%. Like earlier today, I was out with the kids after getting back to town.
Mm-hmm.
My ex was like, "You want to meet up at Chuck E. Cheese and take over for us?" And we'll go do shopping or whatever, and you can hang out with kids. And I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. That's perfect by me. I'll meet you there at 5 or whatever.
Yeah.
And I get there, and like at one point, my daughter's like throwing a fit at me about something. And I just turned around and I was like, Amelia, we can either stop that now, or I can call your mom. She can come pick you up, and you can have mom figure out dinner for you.
Yeah.
Because initially, I guess they wanted pizza, but they also wanted McDonald's, but they also wanted pizza. And I frankly was not about to spend $20 on Chuck E. Cheese pizza that they were not going to eat more than one piece of.
Yeah.
I would have rather have gone and spent the $20 at McDonald's getting them each a Happy Meal and myself, a couple burgers and some fries, and been absolutely fine with that.
Yeah.
And so that's what we did. And then, like, she was freaking out, like, giving me an attitude. And I was like, look, here's what we can do. We can finish up our games. You guys can each pick out a prize from whatever tickets you have on your cards. And then we can go and have dinner.
Yeah.
Or you can keep up this attitude and I can call your mom. It's like, I'm not going to sit and be a jerk. I'm not going to be an asshole to them. That's not my prerogative.
Right. Yeah, of course.
But if you're going to sit and give me attitude because you want pizza and you want your card, even though your card is empty, and I'm hanging onto it so you don't lose it. And just, there was so many little things that were causing her to have, a conniption.
Yeah, getting overstimulated,
Yeah. And like, meanwhile, like, I'm still fighting off an ear infection going on almost a month now. Like, I have fluid still in my ear that makes it a little hard to hear. So I'm listening most of this time with the kids with one functioning ear. And I'm like already overstimulated myself and trying to keep my cool, obviously, because I'm not trying to blow up my kids. And like, they disappeared on me in an instant while I was trying to finish a game for my daughter to get a SpongeBob SquarePants card. And it turns out they were like in the photo booth or whatever, but I didn't see where they were. So I was like, guys, okay, let's regroup here. You cannot walk away from me, okay? You asked me to try to get this prize for you, and then you walked away from me. That's not okay.
Yeah, I feel. So oh my god, the ADHD brain. Like, oh, hey, look over here.
Yeah. And like, I said to both of them, I was like, and mind you, my son's 3, so he's like still kind of learning.
Yeah.
As it is, like, when dad says something or when mom says something, it means listen.
Yeah.
And so I said both of them, I was like, look, guys, when we leave here to go get food, I want the both of you glued to my side. You don't go ahead of me. You don't change sides. You stay to my left.
Yeah. I need to physically feel your body against mine.
Yeah. And like, my daughter was trying to show me like a cheer move and stopped in the middle of like, it's not a street, but it's like the entrance to the parking lot to like the complex that we're in with, which has like Target and Chuck E. Cheese and Tono Pizza. And then there's like this nail shop and Great Clips and Verizon.
She's like, hold up, Dad.
I'm like, Amelia, hold on. Let's get over to the grass and then you can show me. And I'm just like, okay, guys, we need to calm it down here for a second. We're literally 200 yards from McDonald's. Let's stick together.
Yeah.
I will walk down to the side of this wall. You guys stand here and I will lift you down. And before I could even finish saying that and stepping down to the wall, my son's like, Dad, how am I supposed to get down? And I'm like, Archer, I'm literally picking up your sister right now. Calm down, buddy. It's okay. It's all right.
You're leaving me.
And like, I'm not going to like sit and toot my own horn and, try to sound like the world's greatest father. Cause like I could absolutely do a better job, as anybody could absolutely do a better job.
Yeah.
It's about being present, and I'm trying my best to be as present as I possibly can.
Of course.
And like, I'm trying to explain to them, like, I understand that mom does things this way and things go this way with mom.
Right.
This is how I'm doing it. You need to understand the difference.
Mm-hmm.
And you need to understand that just because mom does it this way and mom says it this way and things go this way with mom doesn't mean that that's always how it's going to be with me. And that's okay.
Yeah, and that's really good for them to learn.
Like, I'm not going to force you to do something that makes you uncomfortable, especially if it's not what you're used to.
Of course.
But also, if I say, what do you guys want or not want on your food? And you tell me only ketchup, no pickles, no onions, no mustard. And then you finish your burger and then complain that there was no cheese on it when you told me that there was supposed to be no cheese on it. But mom gets it with cheese on there. Well, Amelia, you didn't tell me that. I didn't know that. You told me you wanted a hamburger with only ketchup, no pickles, no onion, no mustard. I got you what you asked for. And she's like, I guess you're right. And I'm like, of course I'm right. You didn't tell me that you wanted cheese.
Oh, I guess you're right.
It's like... She's such a precious little beat, and I love her to death. Like, that's my little girl right there.
Of course.
But it's like, honey, please.
Oh,
for the love of God.
I love that.
Next time,
that
tell
shit
me
that you were like saying that she just wanted to show you a fucking dance move right in the middle.
Yeah, I'm like, honey, we're in the middle of the fucking parking lot. Please, can we get?
And it does that shit to me all
like,
the time.
Obviously, I try not to like swear at the kids or anything like that. But I'm just like, Amelia, please. Please, let's not do this in the middle of the parking lot. But
to be able to...
What were you going to say?
I love that, I was going to say that they also... Teaching my kids things and seeing the way that I react has also helped me be a better teacher. Because in the beginning I was very, very short fused. I didn't have any patience, because I'd never really tried to teach anybody anything before, so I had to learn patience, which has been really nice for me, because now I'm a lot more, I can think clearly, I take my time, and I'm not trying to rush. So it's been really nice to just take it easy and be able to talk things through with my kids, which ultimately will help me develop that with people in general.
Right.
So I think it's a good trait.
Absolutely. Well, and that's one thing too, is like obviously, this is my first and second kid. And I didn't have kids or anything like that before that, but I did help raise my nephew a little bit here and there when he was younger. So like I had like the common sense of like kids
they know how.
Don't know everything, and you're not going to know everything, and it's a learning experience on both sides of it.
Yeah.
Like I learn things from my kids every single time I see them.
Oh yeah.
I hope that I teach them something or show them something new when I see them. Like tomorrow, I'm going to be seeing them again for a second day in a row. And I'm going to go over and spend like 3-4 hours over there. Awesome. And I'm pretty sure most of that time is going to be spent playing with Legos, because I just paid for new Legos for them. And they've been obsessed with Legos when they've gone to the gym with mom. And I'm over here just like, okay, Legos I can fuck with, Legos I can get behind. I love Legos. This Legos. Is going to be great. And like I'm hyped, because that's something that I enjoy as a 33-year-old, and that's something that my kids enjoy as a 3 and a 5-year-old. And I feel like that is going to create more common ground between us, because obviously, like for those of you who might not read the context of anything, my ex and I aren't together anymore. We don't live together, and I don't see them all the time. And so it's a battle sometimes trying to see eye to eye on some things with them and get, common ground on things. And I feel like tomorrow I'm going to go over there and it's just going to be a fucking great time playing with Legos. And I'm so stoked about that.
I love that, dude. That's so good. Edda all the time is all, dude. She craves just not even just like mine or Sandy's attention in general. She just loves hanging out with people. So she is all the time like, hey, you want to play? Hey, you want to play? You just want to hang out?
I love that.
And Jude's like
miss
me.
the
I'm
random-
very introverted. I'm a very introverted person. So Jude, he likes to hang out in his room, play his games, have his me time.
I miss the random streams from when you were streaming at home often, where Etta would just like come in out of nowhere and just be there, and it was like, oh hi Etta, nice to see you, honey.
I love that.
That shit sent me every time because she just comes out of nowhere, and it's like, oh hi.
I would love to. Jude has mentioned a couple of times about wanting to do something like that. So eventually, maybe I'll set him up with doing a stream or something like that, and see, start him out young. I think they would have definitely more of a chance of doing something with it.
Oh, for sure.
Being with the times and being updated with everything as everything becomes the next big thing. Then you're right there, right with the wave as it happens.
100%.
What was it? What was it? I think his Game Pass dad said there was a hilarious tweet he put out today that was like, young people stream to create content and stuff like that, and he's like, older people stream to get away from their problems. I was like,
I feel both seen and attacked at the same time right now.
That's how I felt. Yeah. It was a perfect little quote.
That cracks me up. I love that. But like that's absolutely like not a far cry from at least my truth when it comes to streaming. Like I never started streaming for it to go anywhere in terms of like, oh my god, world famous streamer YonduPoppinsYall. Like no, like I started it as a hobby and as a like hopeful building of a community, and that's still what it is 6 years later. It hasn't changed. Like I don't stream to get paid. I don't do it to get recognition. I don't do it, and like even on the times that I've done charity streams, like I'm not doing it for me.
Yeah,
I'm doing it to benefit other people. Like,
yeah. I mean, I think that's
if I was trying to do that shit for me, it would be very clear that it was selfish. That's not the case at all. Like now, granted, like I also stream and do this shit and play games and stuff to escape my own bullshit. Because who doesn't need an escape from reality?
Yeah,
it's one of the reasons why I was doing, GTA RP very heavily is because it was a way to become another person for a little bit and not deal with my life and like nice. Getting together with people from all over and playing games. Like,
yeah, and it's also it becomes like your support circle. You know what I mean? Becomes like your support group. I've noticed over time. Like you've always been around since we've met.
I try to be. I absolutely try to be.
Which, I also understand you're that dude towards literally all your friends. So
oh yeah. No, I am very guilty of stretching myself to the thinnest possible iota of myself to make sure that everybody gets what they need. And it's not exactly the healthiest thing, and I'm learning these days to take more time for me, hence the trip that I just took. But I'm very much someone who, if I know I'm a mod for someone and they're streaming and I'm awake and don't have to work, or they're streaming early enough where I can be there, or whatever the case may be, like I try to make myself available to them. Or if I know that I'm going to be streaming, then I try to raid into them so I can at least be present, or whatever the case may be. Like I try to be there to support those people. And even if I'm not a mod for them, if I'm just a friend, just hanging out in the chat, like it's a very important thing to me to not just cherish those relationships, but feed them as well.
You got to plant seeds, man.
Exactly. And I feel like not necessarily it's the only way that I get fed in return, in the sense of speaking, but there are some of those friends that need to be fed before they can feed other people as well as yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes we need that. We need that help.
I'm also learning to accept that from other people, whereas in the past I haven't.
Mm-hmm.
Case in point, not trying to reference that again, but just for the sake of it, to make it a joke. But my birthday this year, knowing full well what was about to happen, I had decided, fuck it, I'm gonna celebrate me this year, because the one person at the time who was hopefully at least going to at least give me a happy birthday didn't.
Right.
And I decided to finally own my birthday again after several years. And it's not any fault of theirs to why I wasn't owning my birthday, but it was about a lot of self-imposed shit that made me not really care about myself or my birthday or any of that kind of shit.
Yeah,
and
dude,
this year I was just like, fuck it. I'm gonna celebrate me because I fucking want to. Because I'm tired of being fucking sad.
Yeah, I would like to get to that point again for my birthdays. I feel like I haven't been there in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like and maybe it was because it was most years I end up working on my birthday and don't try to even take off. And I ended up just seeing it as another day. And I don't want to do that, because I think we should celebrate that we are alive, you know?
Right.
I think it's something that should be celebrated. So I want to get to that point again. I would love to be able to, I think I just need to go to a concert for my birthday.
Fuck yeah, dude.
I think that would be a good.
Yo, wait for that next Knocked Loose tour to be announced after this one, and just rip it.
They at least always play once in Kentucky usually, so.
It's more like several times a year if they can, since it's their home.
Right. So I should be able to catch them. No excuse.
Right. That'd be like, I feel like for you, like, Knocked Loose is like that band from like your hometown / state that's like huge.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, for me, that's Motion City Soundtrack, like,
which is a huge band.
Right. It's just one of those things where, like, I've probably seen Motion City Soundtrack definitely more times than I've seen Coheed. I lost track of how many times I've seen those guys live in any capacity, whether it was Justin solo or Justin's like solo act that he did separate from just solo Justin endeavors.
Mm-hmm.
And full band or like partial band like Justin and Josh, or at one point it was like Justin and Claudio, and then
cool.
All that. Like I've seen some capacity of Motion City Soundtrack or Justin Courtney Pierre at least 20-25 times now.
Damn, dude.
And every single time it's just a fucking blast. Like I saw those guys for New Year's Eve into New Year's Day, 2023 into 2024. And that was one of the coolest fucking concerts I've ever been to.
Did they have new music out?
They actually just dropped a new song recently. Yes, it's called "Stop Talking," and it's really good. It's really good.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, you shared it with me. Yeah, I remember now. Yeah, and I felt like it was very, very who they are. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Well, it's the first new song in 10 years. Like what? But no, like I feel like if I were to come to Kentucky to see a show with you, if it wasn't Coheed, it was Knocked Loose.
Oh, of course.
If you were going to come to Minnesota to see a show with me that wasn't Coheed, it would be Motion City. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, that's just one of those things where, you know, you really dive heavily into those bands that are from your area that are,
and it's just
that
so
are
wild.
very representative of that.
So wild that Knocked Loose came from Kentucky.
I know, right? I've been seeing that a lot lately of like bands that are very surprising coming from where they are. It's like, oh shit. Oh.
Yes, it's like,
shit.
oh,
Okay.
you're from here? Oh, whoa.
Mm-hmm. Well, again, like, bringing up like local bands and all that, like my friend Gavin's band, Green Top, just released their new record.
Shout out.
Like what? A week ago now, maybe?
Yeah,
a little over a week ago, something
too.
like that. Oh my god, it's fucking phenomenal.
It's damn
They're
good.
probably never gonna hear this, but like Green Top, if you're listening, like you guys have already met me at the Zora show. But holy shit, you guys fuck. You guys fuck hard.
Dude, I was surprised by it. It was when he came in with the sax.
Gavin on the fucking sax, dude. That's my guy. That's my guy.
I'm pretty sure my underwear melted.
I'll tell him you said that. No, I'm seeing them actually on the 26th. So,
ooh, nice.
Potentially, if my car can handle it, I might go down to Rochester after work on Friday the 13th and go down to see them as well. But
how far away?
It's not a for sure thing. Rochester is like an hour, give or take.
That's not bad.
No, not at all. But I missed their free album release show on the 30th because that was the same night that I was in Harrisburg to see Koki. And like I told Gavin that. I'm like, dude, I already had this trip booked before y'all had that.
Damn.
And now it's like, I love you, my dude. I would have been there. I was there in spirit, but also Coheed. And he knows. He knows Coheed's my fucking shit. He knows that I was out seeing Kayla and all that. So.
Oh, of course.
But yeah, dude, that was one of those things with like Green Top where when he told me that he had started working on that project with those guys after they had a band before that called Young Park. And that fizzled out, and then Green Top was born as Isaac's solo project, and then he expanded it to include the rest of the guys. And like none. And like it's hard for me to ever say this. Like we're talking like Coheed, Motion City. Like there's a handful of bands where I will say none of their fucking songs miss. Not a single Green Top song misses.
And that's like, pretty big coming from like, not a huge band, like,
right.
That's
and
really cool.
Isaac has not just a way with words, but melodies and instrumentation, and like he's just such a talented dude. And I really hope that they get the recognition that they deserve. I don't know if they necessarily want like national touring recognition or anything like that, but I hope that they get what they want out of this because this project is so fucking good. It's so fucking good. And I will scream the praises of Green Top until the day I fucking die.
Well, from what I've heard of it, dude, it's damn good. And I really enjoy it.
Oh yeah. The recent release has like 3 songs on it that are pretty much stuck in my head constantly. And it's like I don't even feel like they're intentionally meant to be earworms, but they're just that fucking good that they're just stuck in my head.
They're your earworms.
Yeah. Well, and one of the coolest things, and like shout out to Isaac on this one. He did a sequel to one of the, I don't know if it's the first song that he wrote for Green Top or if it's one of the first songs that he wrote for Green Top. But on the first release that he did, he had a song called Northbound. And that song was written about his travels between Columbia, where he was going to school, and Rochester, where he's from in Minnesota.
Oh, cool.
And then on this record, he wrote Northbound 2. And this one is specifically about the drive between his 2 homes of Rochester and now Minneapolis.
Right. Okay. Cool.
And doing that drive back and forth. And it went from the first song being about not knowing where home is between Columbia and Rochester to now it sounds like what I'm gathering from it is that he's confident that he has 2 homes and he's proud to be from both of those places now. To go to both of those places and be there.
Such a cool way to have two songs that are very close to, you know, what you've lived out and where you are now. That's so cool.
Mm-hmm. And like it shows. It shows, at least from my interpretation of it, it shows the growth and the journey of the human condition. And where at points in your life you're gonna be lost and not know where the hell you're going, and then you have that moment of clarity, and then you know where you might be going. You might already be there, and you know where you can call home, you know?
Yeah.
And it really struck a chord with me, and that's one of the songs that just really sticks with me. Not necessarily as one of the earworms, but just in terms of the meat and potatoes of it is just very like resonating with me, especially at this current point in my life. And I'm just like, dude, Isaac, you didn't have to do that to me, man.
Are you stalking me? What's going on here? Is this my life?
It like I said, he's got a way with words, he's got a way with melody, he's got a way with instrumentation that just something about Green Top. It's just such a special project, and I'm so humbled to be anywhere close to that atmosphere by way of Gavin. Because without knowing Gavin, I may have never been introduced to that music and had, you know, another local band in Minneapolis that I cherish so deeply, like I do Green Top.
Right.
And it's just awesome to have that and be in that space, because like I was a big Minneapolis music supporter for the longest time.
Yeah.
And then the scene not necessarily got quiet, but in the shift from like MySpace to Facebook, like the word of mouth and the spread of everything just kind of changed.
It did.
And a lot of local bands didn't get a lot of traction as they should. And I feel like things are starting to change now with like guerrilla marketing for shows and word of mouth. And like I've shared Green Top with several friends who are now fucking into them and want to go see more shows and want to learn the words and all that. And I'm just like, that makes me so happy as a music fan, being able to share music with people. It's something that like
seeing someone local from your like your state actually making it or making some traction.
Exactly.
And you feel like you're a part of that in some way, you know, because you're a part of the scene. Yeah.
Exactly. I'm feeding into them getting that recognition in some small way. And for me, it's not even necessarily about getting them recognition. It's just about getting their fucking music out, because it fucked.
Right. Like these guys deserve to be heard.
Exactly. It's just, you know me, you know, like I eat, breathe, shit, sleep, everything music. Like
dude, it's like with my buddy, you know, my buddy Eric.
God bless him.
He's got a band together, and I'm hoping that they're able to pull it off, because from what I'm hearing, and I feel like they could really do something with it, and it's got me super excited for them.
Hell yeah!
Kind of like, you know, it gives me that same feeling that you were just talking about with, you know, Green Top. I feel like I'm actually a part of it in a way.
Yeah, and you're not like. There's always those people who are trying to like get into that for selfish reasons, you know what I mean?
Like I'm part of the band.
Yeah, and that's not ever been my goal. My goal is at the forefront to just support good music and good people doing good music.
Yeah.
And that is Green Top in a nutshell. And for you, that's Eric and the project that he's starting. And I don't know. Like, yeah, I might be 33 years old right now, and you know, I might never see my time doing that kind of stuff and recording and playing music for people. But if I somehow make that happen before I'm old and gray and decrepit, fuck, dude, that's gonna be like, that's gonna be the shit. You know what I mean?
You know
that's
how many
be...
people that didn't make it until they were like in like their 30s or 40s?
Oh yeah, no, 100%.
Tons of artists.
Mm-hmm.
So
like
it's something I don't think will ever die for me. I think it'll until I'm not able to like play an instrument anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'll always kind of hold on to that. I've always, always loved playing music.
Mm-hmm.
Or just shit, even listening to music. I just love music.
Absolutely. That's my like forever. Like, music has gotten me through everything. It's helped me. It's hurt me. It's hindered me. It's driven me. It's always been there.
It is like
consistently.
My life force. It's my life
exactly.
Force.
Like I may never write anything that's profound to anyone, but I will always have some kind of like indentured servitude to the life force that is music. Yes. Like it'll always be something that, whether I'm playing other people's music or writing my own or enjoying other people's music, it's a constant in my life, and it will be a constant in my life until I either lose my hearing or I die. Like, I'll be that fucker that's up in the wings at, First Ave watching, the next up and coming band at, 60, 70 years old with my fucking earplugs in my wheelchair, enjoying the shit out of the show like the kids down in the crowd are. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. I think I'll always be that dude.
Mm-hmm. That's the fucking dream right there, being 60, 70 years old and still going to fucking shows.
Yes.
Hell yeah, dude.
I've seen it before, and every time I'm like, yeah, dude. Hell yeah. I want to be doing what you're doing at your age. There
was a dude who at least was maybe 50 years old in the pit in Harrisburg on Friday.
Nice.
Who was tearing down with everybody, and I remember at one point he deadlocked me right in the eyes, looked at me, and then just gave me like a slap, like not like a full hit, but like a slap on the back.
Yeah.
And said, "Let's go." And I was like, okay, dude.
Okay.
I fuck with you.
Dude, someone gives you a pat on the back and says, "Let's go." It is the biggest boost of energy.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
You're like, there's a giant in front of me? Fuck, let's go.
Yep. Oh, that reminds me of another cool concert moment that I had the other night. Right when Coheed was about to start playing in Keeping Secrets, there was this guy who I had an interaction with earlier in the show, because he thought that I was trying to rowdy up more of the crowd standing next to him, because I had finally gotten back up to where Kayla and Andrew were.
Yeah.
And he looks at me and he's just he's this bigger, stocky black guy, and he looks at me and he's like, "Nah, brother, nah." And I was like, no, dude, I'm here to have fun, just like you are. Like, I'm not here to cause trouble. He said, okay, you cool.
That's great.
And then later in the show, they're about to play In Keeping Secrets, and he's right behind me over my shoulder. And he goes, "Okay, I came prepared. I got my jackhammer." And I'm like, "Brother, you're at Cody. Of course you came prepared. Let's go." And he's just like, "Yes, sir."
That's awesome.
I couldn't clock his age, and I wish I would have been able to catch up with him at the end of the show and just give him a "hey, good shit" kind of thing.
Yeah.
But that. He was fun because he was in the pit a little bit too, not too much. Yeah. But he was pushing people back into the pit and helping people get up, and it really screamed Philly brotherly love the whole time. Watching his interactions with people, and then watching that other guy who gave me the slap on the back.
The word that comes to mind for that shit is sportsman shit. like sportsmanship
Right.
for music, for music. Yeah.
It's almost like a sportsman-like conduct thing, but for concerts. It's what I call concert etiquette.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it's, or some people would go as far as to call it like Warped Tour etiquette.
Yeah.
Especially with like the mosh pits and falling down and all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was one of the biggest things towards the end of the Warped Tour was like if you see someone fall down, you pick them up. And like they had like the signs on the stages that said like no moshing. If you see someone fall, pick them up. Blah 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 blah. It's like you're not gonna stop people from moshing. If they're gonna mosh, they're gonna fucking mosh. But like it evolved from like the earlier years of like
when people would fucking get
and Warped
stomped
Tour and all that. Like Knocked Loose, for example, like. They always say like when they did the Wall of Death during Everything Is Quiet Now when I saw them, they're like we're gonna split the room. You guys are gonna I can't remember exactly what Isaac said. He said something about like you guys are gonna like kill each other or some shit.
Yeah.
And like he's not trying to say like murder each other, but it's like a wall of death. Like you're gonna run towards the middle of the fucking room and you're all just gonna fucking jump and mosh and push each other around, and if anybody falls, you pick them up.
Yeah.
Like nobody wants anybody to get hurt. We're all just there to let loose and get off this feral energy that we have.
And that's
some people get to do it several nights a week. Some people, like myself, only get to do it once in a while. But you know what? When we get the chance to do it, we have fun with it, and we watch out for everybody else that's around us.
And I know that
I got hit in the face during the Coheed show. I don't know if it was a boot or a hand or an elbow, but I remember getting clocked in the face, and I was dazed for a moment, and someone grabbed my shoulder and just said, "You good?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm good, thanks."
I love that.
Like, it's just one of those little things. Like, they could have just kept paying attention to the show, but they saw me get clocked, and I was good. You know what I mean?
There's also been a lot. I think Knock Loose also comes from the part of the scene where it is a little bit more. It's a little bit more
rowdy.
Hectic and rowdy. Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, there are people there that do like to have the etiquette, but it's also one of those things that if you're going to a specific show, you kind of know what you're getting yourself into.
Oh yeah.
So it's kind of like you kind of just have to be careful.
Mm-hmm. But it's one of those things where, again, like the scene has evolved over the years where, like, even if you're going to one of those shows where it's like no rail, no security, and people are getting crowd surfed to the stage, and then there's a wall of death every other song, and people are on the ground, like, even then, people are still getting checked on.
Right.
Like, people are still being helped up and made sure that they're good. And if they're not good, sometimes the shows are stopped.
Yeah, it's definitely
just like what happened with Coheed.
It's definitely a lot different these days from what it used to be. And I think it's because of all the, the horrible shit that's happened over the years at these concerts. I don't know if there's like some weird things where they're trying to hold the band liable as well. But I know the venues are definitely held liable if somebody gets hurt.
I don't necessarily know if it's the venues at this point. I think a lot of it has to do with ticketing.
Really?
Like, I feel like Ticketmaster and like these ticket companies are maybe pushing this because they're tired of lawsuits. And all that shit, and especially from like angry mom and dad because their kid came home with a black eye. Well, you let your kid go to see like Falling in Reverse, which was a terrible decision as it was, but we're not going to talk about that. But it's like you have to have some. I know. Again, you were talking about like not really using the word common sense, but some common sense. Like
yeah.
Use your fucking brain. It's not that hard.
Fucking think.
Exactly. But it's been one of the biggest things for me of when I go to those shows. Like if I'm not in the mood to mosh and thrash around and all that shit, I'm gonna try to surround my friends and be a shield and help deter them from getting sucked into that or deal with that. And then there's going to be some shows where I just want to go fucking figure ape shit and have a good time. And if I do, I make sure that my friends know that I'm okay, or I check in and get back to them, and whatever the case may be.
Sometimes, dude, you can start in a pit on one end of the room, and then by the end of it, you're on the other end of the venue.
Oh yeah. It was interesting because the pit for Coheed was literally a central pit at like center stage.
Yeah.
Like right in front of Claudio, almost like we were just putting down for Claudio or something. But even he saw several times in that pit that like people would fall down. We would get them back up. Like I'm pretty sure I noticed a couple of times that he was giving like the crowd some nods.
That's cool. And
it's just like, he knows that we're out there to fuck around and find out and have a good time in the process.
Oh, I'm sure that I see a lot of front men doing shit like that. They actually like look for that type of stuff while they're performing.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's one thing too. Like poor Josh, during the whole process of that person getting injured and like the crowd splitting to make room for the security, like where Josh is sitting is so blinding because they have to light up so much of that part of the stage so that you can see the drums and all that.
Yeah.
And like he's like standing up, like, hand over his eyes, like, I can't really see out there. Is everything okay? Like, I was just like, poor Josh. He's just blind up there.
He's just lost. He's just literally looking at lights the whole time.
Mm-hmm. But man, does that dude fuck behind the kit.
Oh my God.
Oh, Josh Eppard. If he ever hears this, Josh Eppard, we met at Warped Tour when you were playing with Terrible Things, Fred and Andy. And you and I had a really solid conversation back then. And I told you how proud I was of you, for getting clean and getting back behind the kit and all that. I'm still fucking proud of you to this day, dude. So if for some reason you ever hear this, I hope you know that I'm still fucking proud of you, dude.
Dude, I love Coheed. Absolutely huge influence on me.
Mm-hmm.
As far as
they saved my fucking life, so
yeah, like just their music is so it hits all points of emotions for me.
Mm-hmm.
It can be thrashy, it can be metal, it can be soft, melodic, acoustic, and just Claudio just whispering sweet things into your ear, dude. It's they hit all the points for me, and it's one of those bands that will always stick with me.
Yep, 100%.
I appreciate them.
Absolutely, they are forever going to be that band for me. There's nothing that will replace them in my life. That is a constant. They will forever be that band for me.
So, who do you plan on seeing next?
Oh, that's a good question. I have that Green Top show coming up later this month.
Mm-hmm.
I was supposed to see the Nicotine Dolls.
Oh, really?
The weekend of the 20th and 21st, but that show unfortunately got canceled. Postponed because they're working on their new record and they wanted to finish the record before they toured.
Right, that's
so
understandable.
They're pushing it back to the spring, so it's going to be like a more beefed up tour with like new songs.
Oh yeah,
a new record, and it's going to be great. I fucking love those guys. I discovered them from TikTok, and they're actually fucking incredible.
Shout out.
But there was potential, depending on if I can afford it and find tickets for it, that same weekend, the Front Bottoms are in town.
Oh shit! And really?
They're a band that I've been getting a little more into recently.
I like the Front Bottoms.
I hate how real twin size mattress is for me.
It's a great song.
it feels a little too real to hear that song, and I'll probably sob my fucking eyes out if I actually make it to the show and hear them play it live. But we'll see if that happens. I know I want to say it's next month that they're playing. But Mariana's Trench is coming to town, and Alex and Leo want to go see them. I think Leo already got a ticket, and I think I might try to pick up a ticket if there's still tickets available.
That's awesome.
Because Mariana's Trench fucking slaps. Great band.
Mariana's Trench? Yeah, dude.
Yeah. And then also next month, and I'm really fucking excited about this one, I'm seeing Chromeo and The Midnight.
I don't think I know who that band is.
The Midnight, you probably have heard. Chromeo, maybe, but The Midnight, you've probably heard them in some capacity before. They're very like synth rocky, very what's the word I'm looking for? Very pop oriented, I guess would be the word. They have some solid bangers, and that's going to be a really good show. My friend Kayla from here in Minnesota, not the Kayla I just saw, but a different Kayla.
Okay.
She had seen them before. She was actually the friend that I went to go see The Dangerous Summer with earlier this year. Earlier this summer, actually.
Nice.
She had been raving about seeing them before, and she found out that they were coming to town, and she was like, Olin, you need to go. Alex is going to go, and Derek is going to go, and like everybody's going to fucking go. I love The Midnight. Let's go fucking see him. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'll buy a ticket. Let's do it. So I'm going to go see the fucking Midnight, and I'm excited.
Nice, dude.
And I haven't seen any other big tour announcements yet for the fall, so I'm holding out hope that we're going to get some bangers coming through, because I love me some good shows, that's for sure.
Do you know of any other local bands that you could possibly shout out?
Local bands currently, I mean, there's Careful Gaze. I've been fucking with those guys, obviously. They're not local to Minnesota, but they're still a smaller band. Bouquet out of Iowa. Okay. Shout out Jared on Twitter. He's a dude that we actually met at the Knocked Loose show, and then
put
the pieces together that we realized, oh my god, he's in fucking Bouquet. That was a whole fun fucking story. Jared is a cool dude. I've gone back and forth with him on Twitter a couple times. Bouquet fucking slaps. They're working on new music from what I hear. They're worth checking out. Glisten is probably like a god tier track. Southpaw, also god tier.
Southpaw,
the whole EP,
remember that one.
The whole EP, fucking just beautiful. Mwah. Love them. I don't know who else locally comes to mind as of recent that I've been like listening to. I will shout out the band that opened for Motion City back in New Year's, Gully Boys. They fucking slap. They're fun. Boys? Yeah. It's a 4-piece girl rock band.
Oh, cool. Nice.
And they fucking slap. All four of those gals. They not only know how to do their fucking instruments well, but man, the ones that sing got some fucking pipes, dude. Holy shit. Their names are escaping me right now, but the drummer, holy shit, dude. Not only does she fucking thrash behind the kit, but just her presence and like when she sings, like just captivates you. I would fucking love to see those guys again. For sure.
You gotta send me that.
Oh yeah, no, I'll hit you up with those for sure.
One that I would definitely like to shout out is a band called Fatal Concept.
Ooh, you did mention them recently.
Yeah,
I remember that name.
They're up in they're like Louisville / Ohio, so they're kind of like in between there.
Mm-hmm.
And I recently had got to meet their lead singer because actually him and my brother had started talking and seeing each other. So
Okay.
randomly, my brother's like, "Hey, he's in a band. Check him out." I checked him out. They're really good. And then I met him. He's really fucking cool. So we started talking and hanging out. And so they're going to be on the podcast at some point.
Oh, hell yeah.
So I'm really excited about that. So definitely check out Fatal Concept.
Hell yeah.
I definitely plan on getting some other local bands. I want to do a little bit more coverage on some local bands here in Kentucky. It's something I'd really like to do. Just because, like you said, I love being part of the scene, whether it's supporting it, playing music, whatever. I just want to have my hands in it.
100%.
Dude.
100%.
Look how easy we came up on almost 2 hours.
Again, dude, what the fuck?
I know, right?
Why are we like this?
I don't know. I could literally talk with you all night. You're just you're like, that's what I really loved about talking with Kayla, is that I could ask her something and she could actually sit and talk about it. You know what I mean?
100%.
So I love being able to be the dude that can provide questions and then just allowing someone to give feedback on that, like actual feedback, which then I can bump off of. So you're definitely another one of those people that can help carry the conversation.
Absolutely.
And I appreciate that so much.
Well, I obviously am a conversationalist. Third time I've been on the podcast. I
third, technically,
I don't even know. But I like to talk, but I like to have meaningful conversations. Don't get me wrong. I love when we're all just unhinged and saying fucking absolutely nothing that matters to anybody.
Right.
But I'm a big fan of having conversations that mean something, whether it's just to us or people take something out of it. Otherwise, it's...
Well, dude, I told you the last episode we did, it's been my best episode so far.
And that shocks me. Like, you said that to me and I was like, huh?
Yeah, I was looking at the analytics today and just happened to see episode 3 and it had the most plays on all the platforms so far, I believe. And I was like, oh shit, okay.
Wow. That blows my mind, honestly.
You're my golden ticket, Olin.
So are we just going to announce it to the people here that I'm just the official co-host now? No, I'm just kidding.
I would say that you're definitely, you will be definitely a regular guest.
I'm absolutely down for that.
Or regular co-host, either way.
Regular contributor.
Yeah, there you go. Because I know that you know plenty of people that I would love to get on here, or us both, whoever, and just sit and have good conversations.
100%. I'm all about it.
And even a lot of the people that you know on Twitch that I don't know, possibly even get them on here with you as well. That way, I'm not completely lost while possibly interviewing someone that I don't know as well as you do. But I would still love to bring anyone I can on, because this is fun. I love this.
I love it too. I genuinely enjoy being able to have solid conversations and feel like I wasn't just wasting time talking about nothing. You know what I mean?
Right,
like not that it ever feels like a waste of time having a conversation with someone, but sometimes you get done with a conversation and you look at the clock and it's like, did I really just spend 2 hours just talking about nothing?
Right. Yeah. I get that. And I do that a lot.
Don't get me wrong. Like, this past week, Kayla and I absolutely had, unhinged, brain rot conversations. And it's just like, yeah, that happened. But hey, it was fun. We enjoyed it. That's what matters.
Yeah. Well, dude, thank you so much for coming back on with me. And
Of
course, I'm looking forward to the next one already.
Me too. Me too.
Anything you want to say before you leave? Anything you want to shout out or tell people where they can find you? Anything like that?
Shout out Angelo's in Philly. Go get a fucking cheesesteak. That shit slaps. I didn't get into it in the episode today, but also shout out Atomic Comics in Philly. That place fucks.
Oh.
Shout out Kayla Chu.
Of course.
And shout out Joey Cruz.
Hey. That guy's pretty cute.
If you've listened to past episodes where I've said where you can find me, you know where to find me. If you don't, twitch.tv/YonduPoppinsYall. Twitter is just YonduPoppins, I believe.
Yeah.
You can DM me and add me on Discord to have a conversation if you want to. That's just YonduPoppinsYall on Discord. Otherwise, find me in random Twitch streams. Occasionally moderating, occasionally shit posting. More times than not. Yeah, that's true. More times than not, just providing energy in chats. That's what I do best.
And I love that shit.
Other than that, that's about it for me. Where can we find you, Joey?
Oh, me? Oh, you can find little old me at twitch.tv/IamJoeyCruz. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat. Shit, I'm so bad with Snapchat. I don't even really promote that one. I just use it for mostly sending fart videos to
you. That's something to talk about in the Patreon episode.
Yeah, okay. Shh. But anyway, I am Joey Cruz across the board. I love you all. Thank you so much for coming, Olin. And
thank you for having me.
We'll see you in the next one.
Goodbye.
Bye.